Hello, everybody. This is RuggedTheDragon here on the Dergboi podcast. We are on episode 10 right now, and this is an interesting subject. It's gonna have a few players from the Call of Duty community and other competitive titles to come in and kind of debate their opinion on this one. So we're gonna be talking about sweaty tryhards. It's an interesting term to describe anybody. So, for those who are not aware of the podcast, I upload these every week or so, every once in a while. So I'm actually doing a new thing where I'm actually going to be recording these episodes offline because I figured, I think I'd have a better chances of getting a bigger audience if I keep uploading offline for a while. If everyone else wants to still participate, they can. But the other reason is because whenever I'm off work, I actually want to have my Twitch streams dedicated to gaming rather than episodes of the podcast. So it may change in the future, but for now, I'm going to have these uploaded offline when I'm at work. So anyway, let's get on to the main topic. So again, but before we do, like I said, go on to RuggedTheDragon on Twitter. I also have a Discord server. All of the links are in the episode. And I also have a Reddit page, by the way. So that's where I've been discussing these topics. So a while ago, I posted on the official Call of Duty forum on Reddit, the subreddit. And I had a meme, a simple meme. You know those little hard to swallow pills? And then the pills indicate some truth or fact or whatever that you want to share with everybody. So my post is as follows. Hard to swallow pills. You can't stop legitimate players from being sweaty in a game they own. You just need to stop crying and get better. End quote. Now, I know it's a little toxic, it's a little calling out the community. And then they're gonna lash back, obviously. But so far, the post has about 1,200 likes, upvotes. It may stop, it may keep going, who knows? But that's quite a lot for a meme, a simple meme image on the Call of Duty subreddit, right? I guess a lot of people agree, a lot of people don't, and there's a lot of replies in regards to their opinion about the whole thing. So let's get into the definition itself. So there's no official definition. It's kind of like a generalized idea. So what are sweaty tryhards or sweats, whatever you want to call them? So basically, the definition includes that player putting the most amount of effort in the game, right? They want to win. They want to get the highest kills. Maybe they don't want to win. Maybe they just want to get the highest kills. Sometimes they'll do this by using the best weapons, the best classes. They'll have a different type of play style that could get them up on the leaderboards or on the scoreboards. And I'm talking about legitimate play styles. I'm not talking about exploiting glitch spots. I'm not talking about anything else that in regards to unfair gameplay. Right? That's called cheating. But I'm talking about legitimate play styles. They'll go on YouTube and somebody will be like, hey, make sure you pre-aim these corners because this is a really good hot spot. Or if you want to get a good defensive position here, then sit there, right? These are the kind of people that do research, which I commend them for doing research because not a lot of people do that nowadays. Other people suggest that sweaty tryhards typically play a lot longer compared to other people, but that's debatable. I don't play it that often, right? I have a job for 12-hour shifts, 3 days in a row, yes. But even then, I don't play Call of Duty as much because I try to keep my gaming, streaming schedule different all the time. I want to play different games here and there, right? But even then, I'm still really good, naturally. So somebody else could be playing the game 12 hours a day, nonstop, using just one or two weapons, right? But they may not be as good compared to a guy who plays only 3 hours a week, right? It's a lower chance of that happening, granted, but it could happen. It's not always about your play style, or not play style. It's not always about your time played, right? That's not a major factor in being a sweaty tryhard, right? So, that being said, why is it that people hate them so much? And, oh god, there's so personally, I know this is going to be a bit toxic too, but I think it's a scapegoat for people who are just really not good at the game, right? They're not skilled at the game, right? And they want to still be the best. everyone perceives themselves as the ultimate player. You go in, you're like walking with your like machine gun on your shoulder, and you're like, I got this, boys. And you go in, you start mowing people down. Yeah, it's a power fantasy. I know video games are supposed to supply that in some degree, but in a competitive environment like Call of Duty, where you face off against other players, that's not going to happen. Like, please, everybody, lower your expectations here. It's like, but when they perform terribly, it's not their fault. No. It's them. These sweaty tryhards are playing crazy, right? I can't compete against that. It's like they're just ruining my experience, right? It's just you're not as skilled than they are. And here's the worst part. We're talking about Call of Duty, a game that emphasizes skill-based matchmaking, right? They want to put people of similar skills together. And no, it does not sacrifice connection. I want people to know connection is never sacrificed. This was confirmed many years ago. People don't want to believe it. I show the evidence and no one wants to believe it. But anyway, they always say, well, the sweaty tryhards ruining like my experience. Well, how are they ruining your experience? You're in a match with them. You're skill paired for the most part. So what's wrong with being the one who loses in a fair game? Well, the thing is, I just want to play casually, and I just want to play for fun. So wait, play casually. So wait, you're telling me that if one person plays with more effort and you're playing with less effort, it's still their fault? I mean, you're the one putting less effort into the game. So why are you expecting to still win and perform well? I don't understand that. If you don't perform as good because you're not putting as much effort, you're going to get a bad result. You always want to put some degree of effort because it's a game, right? It's competition. If you don't want to put effort, that's fine. That's on you. Just don't blame the outcome when you're doing that, right? You can't expect everybody to take it easy on you because you asked them. It's not going to happen because we don't understand you as a person. No offense, but we also don't care about your feelings either. If I'm going into a game and I'm putting all the effort into a free-for-all match, for example, and I'm blasting people with a shotgun or machine pistols or whatever I can have on me, right? And they're getting angry because I'm ruining their experience, I'm going to laugh. I'm sorry. It's a fair game. I beat you. I'm sorry. Please take your L properly and respectfully, please. Understand that when you lose in a game, learn from it, please. Don't complain that I'm putting too much effort. Learn from the experience, right? And if you really think you can't learn from it, then humbly just say, you know what? I may be angry, but here's the thing. He played better than I did. I didn't perform as well. It's not my day today, so I'm going to take a break. Or maybe I'll try next time. That's the way you should go on about losing in the game, right? You should not be blaming another person. And the worst thing I hate is people telling others how they should play their game. When I mentioned earlier, I said that people should take it easy on them. That's exactly what they're doing. It's like, oh, this game is supposed to be casual. Is it? I mean, Call of Duty multiplayer is competition. The basic definition of competition is you win, you lose. The amount of effort that people put into the game is on them. They own it. They have the freedom to play it the way they want. You can't stop them. You absolutely cannot stop the way they play their game. You can't suggest that if the game is casual, you can't play as hard. I don't understand why people think Call of Duty is casual. Really? I mean, it's casual based on your mindset, in my opinion. My definition of casual is I'm going to go into the game and I'm going to have a casual experience by putting effort into the game as much as I can because I think that's fun. Right? That's my kind of casual mindset here. I don't like how people think that the game should not have as much effort being put in by other players. Like, why? I mean, like, eesh. If you want fun and casual in Call of Duty, it's not about every mode being easier for you to play. I'll get back to that later. It's about the game modes you play. If you're having a standard game mode where it's about killing each other quickly in team deathmatch, or securing the most flags and capture the flag, or any other kind of like mode that has a competitive nature to it, you're not going to have a casual experience in those modes, right? But if you want to have casual gameplay, you need to add modes like Infected, Prop Hunt, the Double Agent mode that was released in Cold War. It's kind of like Among Us, where you don't know who's a traitor. Something like that. If you have game modes like that added more often in Call of Duty, it kind of removes that competitive edge of the mode itself. So you can be like, you know what? I'm not going to play Domination or Team Deathmatch, right? I mean, I'm just want to relax a little bit. So let's play Prop Hunt, right? All I do is chase around people disguised as props. But what if I want to play Infected? Run away from people who are zombies, right? That's fun. Like, that needs to be the focus. Let's go back to the idea of the game on easy mode, right? So people say that casual should be about performing well, regardless of your effort, right? That's a very unrealistic demand. You want the game to be easy in multiplayer. The only way that can happen is if your opponents are of a weaker skill set. So basically, people are demanding that the sweaty tryhards that are better than them, they should have the option of reducing their own difficulty so they can beat up on weaker players, or maybe not beat up on the weaker players. They just want to experiment and relax while not dying as much because the skill level of their opponents has been reduced. I don't understand why people want that. Why? Why? Like, it's selfish. It's entitlement, basically. It's like I play this game because I want to have fun. Okay, so why are you playing competitive multiplayer for? Oh, it's not competitive. It's casual. No, what? No. If it was casual, then everybody would be like, hello, I'm not going to put that much effort against you. I'm just going to let you kill me 5 times in a row because you need to have fun. No, nobody cares. If they want to play the game the way they want, that's fine, as long as they are not cheating. I'm not advocating cheating in any degree. I'm just saying, legitimately speaking, if I'm going to put effort and you don't, and you're getting angry, that's on you, dude. I'm sorry. I'm not going to care about you complaining about me. Simple as that, man. Grow up. And let's get back to the Call of Duty experience, right? Everyone's like, oh, I want to have my experience. You know what the true Call of Duty experience is about? It's about winning and doing well, alongside with losing and performing badly. You can't have one without the other. That's the whole experience in general with competitiveness. If you want to win, you also have to learn to lose. If you want to perform well, you also have to learn with inadequate gameplay, right? That's something that most people don't want to accept. They only want to accept the positives. I understand positives are a good thing. They make us feel good. But if you're not prepared to lose, and if you're not prepared to get stomped once in a while, then what are you doing here? So on the Call of Duty Reddit page that I posted the meme on, a lot of people responded to it, but I've also given my own personal replies. So one of the replies I see, some guys asking what the post is aimed after. Are they aimed after bad players? Are they still getting upset because they're still losing despite skill-based matchmaking protecting them in their own bracket? Someone else replied that I think it's aimed at players complaining about SBMM because they want to beat down on worse players. Kind of, but I'll get into that later. Someone else also responds by saying, this assumes that all the complaining about SBMM is from players who lobby shop for weaker opponents, which we all know SBMM will saddle legitimately good players with trash teammates to balance things out. It happens, but it depends on what modes you play. I don't see where RuggedTheDragon makes that distinction. His wording basically amounts to, if you're losing, then get better. Or put another way, get good, scrub. Not quite, but yeah, a little bit, but we'll get more into that. And he also adds, so where is the wisdom in this post, if what he is saying can be applied to any COD player, regardless of skill? So I responded, quote, this post is about the ridiculous idea to attempt change in how others play their game. When somebody gets upset about their lacking performance because of a, quote, sweaty tryhard, they plead to the better players by suggesting they take it easy. It's called competition for a reason, and everyone wants to win, regardless of their feelings. This behavior clearly illustrates how much the community lacks responsibility and composure. Yeah, exactly. So, again, these are my words. So yeah, people don't want to accept responsibility. They don't want to accept the fact that they lost. They don't want to accept the fact that that loss is based on their performance. They usually try to blame the other guy. Composure is also the way you lose. So this is an example of good composure. So it's basically, well, I lost. I mean, it wasn't my best match, but whatever. I'll play next time, or I'll get him next time, right? Bad composure is something like, oh my god, the freaking sweaty tryhard, dude. They're ruining the game. Continuing on, just like the SBMM arguments you hear about every day on Reddit, YouTube, and Twitter, the vocal minority are arguing because they want their game to be easier, aka casual and more fun. I mentioned that a couple times earlier. So having more fun and casual gameplay means the difficulty of the lobby needs to be lowered. It all comes down to bashing weaker players after the barriers are removed because of selfish pride that needs to be fed. That's why you see a lot of people reverse boosting on YouTube, right? They always have these good gameplays and you're wondering how they get them. How did they get these bad players? And it's because they reverse boost or they use a modified account that's already reverse boosted, or some people might be using VPNs. Now, I can't confirm the validity of VPNs in general, but all I know is that people are trying their hardest to find the weakest players so they can have the best gameplay, especially on YouTube, right? Because that's what people do. That's another truth that comes from the reaction of the post. You'll notice that everyone's using the words fun and casual in their comments, but they never define what it is in detail. It translates to, this game is too tough, I want an easy mode, I don't care if I ruin the experience for others through unfair skill pairings. People will deny it, but they also don't give you a direct answer. Yes, they always say, I want to have a casual experience. I want to have fun. They just leave it at that. So you're kind of wondering, what do they mean by casual? So my interpretation is that they want the game to be easier, but they deny it. So what is it? They don't go into detail because, in my opinion, they listen to these YouTubers or people on Twitch or Twitter. And I think, personally, people can't form their own opinions, so they try to use the words of other supposed more popular entertainers out there and use that as a benchmark for their arguments all the time. That's why they're so common. That's why they're so similar in their design. Moving on. Before someone asks, aren't you ruining people's experience through your sweaty nature? Let me say this. If I'm matched with other players around my skill and I put effort while you don't, you can only blame yourself for why you lost and or didn't perform well. My efforts, should they prove too much for you, are not ruining your Call of Duty experience. If I happen to play more effectively in a fair match, be the better person by learning how to take the loss like a mature adult, because you should be that age to play the game anyway. If you can't have fun in Call of Duty, then you can have fun elsewhere. I'm not being an ass by suggesting this. It's a legitimate piece of advice. End quote. I know it's kind of harsh for me to say, well, if you can't play Call of Duty, get out. If you can't take the heat in the kitchen, get out. It is toxic to say. I mean, people love playing Call of Duty multiplayer, but they can't perform well in it. I understand. But sometimes you just need to take a breather, man. You just need to take a breather. If I'm playing Call of Duty and I'm getting thrashed like 2 or 3 matches in a row, I'm just going to be like, you know what? Okay, take a break. Play this next time. Play a game that's more relaxing. Maybe go into VR sessions, right? Go on VR chat, right? Something that's relaxing in general. That's what I think needs to happen, that people really need to consider. Because it's ridiculous how they stick to multiplayer and they keep complaining. Your complaints are not going to do anything. You're not going to convince. If you go into a voice chat, right? I want you to record this, by the way. Go into a voice channel. If you're losing because of people who are supposedly sweaty tryhards and you don't like it, ask them to take it easy on you, right? Go into a free-for-all. If you're losing, say, hey, man, the sweaty tryhard on top with 21 kills and 2 deaths, can you, like, ease it up a little bit? Can you, like, not put as much effort so I can kill you more? I wonder what the result is going to be. I wonder what the voice chat is going to be like. I'm going to hear people going, like, they're going to laugh at the guy, basically. That's what's going to happen. So yeah, the whole thing, this might be I know this is a short podcast, but I mean, it's so ridiculous that I have to discuss this over and over. You will always hear this on Reddit, Twitter. Everybody complains about sweaty tryhards this. They're ruining my experience that. The skill-based matchmaking, blah, blah, blah. Misinformation, complaints. And I know I'm being toxic when I say this too, but too many people are crying. Way too many people are crying. Yes, I get angry too sometimes, right? I lose. I make comments. I sometimes mock people for how they play or what weapons they use. Yes, that's going to happen. But I'm also not going to say that their gameplay style is ruining my experience. I'm not going to say that my inadequate gameplay is because of them using this weapon. I may mock them. I'm not blaming them either. I'm blaming myself still. I'm going to be like, you know what? Not a good day to play. I'll get him next time. I'll take a break. Maybe I'll do better. That's what people should be doing. I don't understand this whole idea of sweaty tryhards. The only time I would ever put less effort against somebody else depends on the environment. If I'm playing a custom game and we're playing Michael Myers, or we're playing a team deathmatch where we just goof around with weird weapons, or we have different play styles, yeah, maybe, right? With other friends, I have no problem with that. That's fine. Like if somebody's like, hey, these guys are really bad, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go knife only, and your controls have to be inverted or whatever. I'll be like, okay, I'll try that. You know, if it's with friends, yeah. And it also includes real life too. I'm not going to go against like a 6-year-old cousin, right? I'm not going to go up to him while he's playing Mario Kart and be like, hey, can I play too? And I start wrecking him in the game. And then I get up and I start celebrating and freaking doing like muscle poses while slapping the kid in the face. Like, I'm not going to do that. No, I don't condone violence, people. Don't slap 6-year-olds in the face. So, and now if like I said, if that same event occurred, what I would realistically do is if I knew the kid wasn't that great at Mario Kart and I was like the best top player ever, I would ease up. I'd be like, okay, let's go. And like, he's running on the walls and he's not going that fast, and I just slow down and I make sure he's always ahead of me. And I'll be like, oh my God, you almost got me. It kind of like to make him feel better, right? I can understand that kind of specific instance of putting less effort. That's fine. But going back to the online experience, if I'm going against other people of similar skill and I put the most effort and I'm ruining their experience, I'm not really going to care, right? We're equally matched, almost, maybe not, I'm not quite sure, through legitimate means. And if I win, I win. If I perform well, I perform well. If I lose or I die a lot, whatever, it's going to happen, right? I just want people to stop complaining and telling me that I can't put effort in my own game, right? I don't understand that. So, anyway, this is the conclusion of the podcast itself. So, my question to you is, what do you think of sweaty tryhards? And do you agree or disagree with anything I said? And if so, let me know. You could probably go on my Twitter page or Discord and we can have discussions about it. But again, it's up to you. So again, this is Rugged the Dragon on the Dergboi podcast. And if you ever want to join in on the conversation, please let me know. I will definitely love to have you as a guest speaker, or you can ask me questions through direct messages on Twitter and Discord. So anywho, I hope all of you had a good day. I hope you learned something from this little rant or discussion, whatever you want to call it. And I hope you have a good day. Take care, and I'll see you guys next time.